Code Red has been issued by the Dems because they are in panic because of some new polling that came out in the swing states. Remember, this election's all over, but it really comes down to a few states and actually a few counties in these states. Why are people sick and tired? Is enough enough? I think you're realizing that real quickly. Also, Home Depot puts out a warning where they're literally getting rid of tons of warehouse space, tons of extra space, which they would typically hold when a good economy is going. They can keep the stockpile up of things that they need. They're selling a lot of it because what? Why? Well, because the economy is not what everybody wants it to be, and we're wanting 4 more years of it under Harris? I don't think so. And then lastly, today is October 7th. A lot took place a year ago. And to be honest with you, we're looking for an October surprise. FBI and DHS comes out and warns that there could be some hate and there could be some problems today. To be careful, especially if you're in the cities. To be honest with you, not that I trust everything the government says, but today shows more than ever how people are so polarized around this issue with the Palestinians and Israelis. We're going to talk about all that today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. We humbly ask that you do that because it does help us spread our message across this platform. We work off people sharing our message because sometimes our platform holds us down a little bit to where they won't share our content. What's so funny is my wife last night, we watch our videos all the time because we kind of proofread our videos. She was unsubscribed from my channel, so that should prove to a point where she didn't unsubscribe. Someone unsubscribed for her. So please make sure you are subscribed and please give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us. Now let's talk about the video and the information of today. So there's a new story that just came out that Kamala's campaign is in complete and utter panic. Now we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but then some new polls came out and it shows that out of 5 to 7 of the swing states, Trump is winning 5 of them. And not just by 1 or 2 points, sometimes by margins bigger than the margins of error. There was a Democratic operative that was on Legacy Media, and he stated this. He said, there's never been a time where a Democrat had this less going for them in any point in time right before an election. He said even for the ones that lost, even for the ones that won, there was never a time that Democrats felt so uneasy about the election. Now, you may hear the talking points, and you may hear the people come out and say that Kamala's doing great, but the truth behind it was this Democrat operator saying, we're not where we want to be. And to be honest with you, it doesn't look like we're gaining traction. Well, here's why. As Trump said in the article, he said enough's enough. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. There's a report that FEMA had an emergency management meeting just a few days ago. And the concern was in North Carolina and Georgia, how the LGB whatever alphabet would be more strained than the other Americans in that area. And they wanted to do more preparedness and more help for them. Now, does that not blow your mind? That we're already second fiddle to Ukraine and Lebanon and to the Middle East, and we're already second fiddle to all these other countries, and then to tell that we have to also be second fiddle to some part of the system that they think they want to help more than the others? Haitian immigrants get a $17,000 allowance per year, basically on their asylum coverage. $17,000 basically to them. Well, the person that just lost a home, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage, gets a $750 check. That's what Trump is saying when he says enough's enough. That's when people say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. This government does not like us, and when we look to them to help us to solve our problems, I think we're going to see exactly what we're seeing the last 4 years. No help. Now, no matter what you thought about 2020 and warp speed and Trump and the shot and all that stuff here, personally, I didn't agree with any of it. I thought it was all crazy. But at least he was trying to help the people, and he was listening to people tell him what to do, and he got the jobs done. He got the supplies to the hospital. He got the PPE for the people who needed it. You can say what you want, but he at least looked out for the American people first. That's all we want as Americans. Now, I'll be honest with you, as a conservative libertarian, I don't want the government giving us anything. But in this case, when the situation is the whole community was devastated, the whole town, the whole city was gone, that's the part where government is supposed to step in and say, infrastructure, I'm going to fix the infrastructure. It's amazing that we go to Afghanistan and we bomb the mess out of it, and then we, for 20 years, rebuild it when we can't even help this community. And I'm not talking about, well, they're not there. I'm talking about the fact that we can't even get someone to give enough funds to make sure that this will be rebuilt like we have built other areas all across the world. There's no way that the federal government will step in and actually do as much as they've done for other countries, because the kickbacks are not there. I've told you that. But that's the kind of stuff that I think that's why Kamala is in panic. Now, she's going on 3 or 4 or 5 podcasts this next week, and she should have been doing that the whole time. But if you look at the people that she's going on there, the Call Her Daddy podcast, if you know, there's a very liberal ladies podcast that actually gets a little sleazy. She's going on 60 Minutes, which is a softball interview. She's going on Howard Stern. She's going on all these platforms that ultimately are going to be softball interviews. You know why? Because what she wants is to look good to everybody, all the while actually not being someone who knows what she's doing. She knows nothing. And I think people are starting to wake up to that, to realize this lady really does not know. Go back to the interview where her teleprompter quit the other day. It wasn't an interview. It was actually in front of, thousands of people. And her teleprompter quit. And she kept repeating a number over and over and over. What it shows is this. All she is a puppet. She needed that teleprompter because she actually doesn't feel these core values or these issues and knows exactly what to think about it. She has to go off that teleprompter. And I think finally people are starting to realize that. Now, does that make Trump perfect? No, but let's just go through the numbers. And this is what you need to share with people. Let's make it very kindergarten level. When it comes to the economy, do you want your government to spend money across the world on things that you do not find as approval to give to countries who are not actually assisting and helping you, that could cause your family to send their kids over there, especially military-age fighting men? Or do you want an economy that says we want American first, American jobs, American manufacturing, and more oil exploration? We want cheaper gas and cheaper groceries. Okay, there's your economy difference right there between Kamala and Trump. Now let's talk about world problems. Ukraine. Any other place you want to put in that blank. We keep funding wars. That's the honest truth. We keep funding it. Trump has said that we're not going to fund anymore and we're going to end all these wars, or at least come to an agreement. Okay, so there's your answer there on war efforts. On security of our cities and our towns and our border. We have one person who now, Kamala, is saying, well, we do need to close the border, and I'm the person that could do that. Well, she's had 4 years to try it, and she's not done it. Not only that, she's openly allowed these people in, and she's already said that she would be willing to grant amnesty or some kind of pathway to citizenship. Trump is saying, deport the people who are taking your jobs. If they are contributing to society and they want to go through the process of citizenship, then they go like everyone else. But if you come across illegally, you need to go back across to where you came from. So what's going to keep our cities safer? What's going to keep jobs for Americans intact? What? I mean, you tell me. It's simple economics. It's simple elementary numbers here. When we bring 20 million people in, they're going to take people's jobs. They're going to take the government help that people may need. They're going to take the funds and the taxpayer dollars to basically take from you and give to them. And you don't believe it, every Haitian migrant has upwards of $17,000 per year under this refugee status. So that's just a few things. Now let's talk about our freedoms. We have platforms who are openly saying you can have freedom. Trump agrees with that. He actually owns one of them, and the next is the other one, who supports Trump. They've not tried to silence anybody. They've allowed you to be on their platforms with no problem. That is the new public square. The Democrats, Kamala, Walz, Clinton, and Kerry, all this last week came out and stated that the First Amendment is not an absolute, that freedom of speech, freedom of expression should be taken in consideration, that we need to be able to hinder some of that. Actually, Hillary Clinton used the fact that we've lost all control. That's a bigger sign than ever to show that they thought somehow they should have control. Is that what freedom actually means? You do know it's the First Amendment for a reason. We have freedoms, so we are not under control. So that's what you need to tell people. Look at those few items there. Do you want safer cities? Do you want education to be about education, not indoctrination? Do you want the border closed so then you keep your American jobs? Do you want the fact that our dollars stay here and not across the world? And do you want your economy to be better, meaning you want to see American gas? You want to see groceries grown here instead of importing so much of it. Simple economics and simple math. I think that's what people are waking up to, is to realize enough is enough. That's where I think Trump should be very careful in his rhetoric and just talk about the issues. Because if you talk about the issues, people are gonna wake up to the fact of saying, that's true. The economy should be better. My kids should be safer. The fact that my city should be locked down and not have to worry about people coming in and causing chaos and mischief and crimes. Yes, the border should be closed. Yes, my tax dollars of $245 billion that we've sent to Ukraine should be back here in America. All that's the easy answers, and that's about 75% of individuals would back that conversation there of what we just talked about. The things that Trump backs. Especially if you keep it blinded, keep Harris's name and Trump's name out of it, and you just mention those issues, 75 to 80% of people would agree with Trump policies. Before we go any further, a word from our sponsor of today. When you take pride in your home and you love what your home represents, you take every ounce of pride in protecting it. Well, when's the last time that you checked on your title of your home? And that sounds preposterous, or why would I do that? We can lock our homes, we can set alarms, we can close up windows, but are we digitally protecting our home? If you've answered that you've never checked your home title, today is that day you need to. For most of us, our home is our biggest asset. It's our sanctuary. It's our paradise. A new report shows that Americans have built up assets and enough equity of around $32 trillion in home equity. This is an all-time high. But guess what? This makes us a target for our home to be stolen. Now in the crazy world that we live in, scammers can go online. They can take your title with the snap of a moment. They can do anything and everything to pretty much take what you've worked so hard to pay for, or even borrow against your home. If no one is watching your home title and checking for you, you could be at risk. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock. Let them take care of your home title so that way you don't have to, and you can focus on what's actually in your home, your family, what you've worked so hard for. You can sign up for their triple lock protection. That's to monitor, that's to alert, and also title restoration. Home Title Lock does all that for you at HomeTitleLock.com. You can get a complete title scan in 30 days free of protection by using my promo code THEMAX. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code THEMAX. You will be glad that you did. This is so economic and the best way to save maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars of your hard-earned money. Check with HomeTitleLock.com today. Promo code THEMAX. Now moving on to the second issue, and again going back to the economy, Home Depot just subleased millions of square foot of buildings that they had to keep stuff in, stockpile in, to where they can access and keep their stores completely full. Well, what Home Depot represents, and a lot of people don't understand when people say, well, why does Walmart and Home Depot matter? Well, because that is what normal Americans are buying stuff for. Home renovations, remember, our home is our biggest asset. So therefore, a home, if people are investing in their home, that means the economy seems to be doing better. If people are buying groceries at the dollar stores and Dollar Generals and Walmarts, and they're keeping those stores heavily moving of stockpiles and making sure that the merchandise is coming off the shelf, that means the economy is doing better because people spend money. So Home Depot came back and they said they're going to scale back, listen to this, 3 million square foot in just this month, meaning they're going to sublease, get rid of that because they're not needing the extra space. That means their business has slowed up. Now, does that mean all these companies are going to struggle? No. What it means, though, is the economy is struggling and it's not getting any better. No matter what the Fed tries to do to help Harris about cutting rates and making sure that the recession's gone, don't believe that. Believe your own pocketbook and your own checkbook and your own credit cards to say what you actually believe. And you see it for your own eyes. If it costs you $20 to buy fast food, if it costs you $200 to buy 2 sacks of groceries, if it costs you $50 or $60 to fill up a car that should have cost $25, that's what shows how bad the economy is or how good the economy is. Again, it goes back to the Trump saying enough is enough. People are sick and tired of working so hard to see their money go to other people that are not in this country, not to help people like in North Carolina. And not only that, to be taxed for those reasons, but then to turn around and actually on the rest of their money be basically secondary tax because of the inflation and interest problems that the government has caused with the economy. So pay attention to what Home Depot and Walmart are doing, not because they're some special company. They are so big that when their moves happen, what they're doing is moving based on what people are doing on Main Street, not just Wall Street. Remember, the people that are shopping in Walmart and Home Depot are just your common everyday Americans who work and who are trying to live their life the best they can in the economy that they've been given. And it proves the economy is not what it needs to be. Now let's talk about October 7th. Today is a day that brings back crazy memories, of course, for the world and how things got more volatile. Ukraine and Russia was already going on, but the Middle East turmoil actually happened really a year ago today. What do we need to learn from it, and what do we need to heed the warning of? Well, FBI and DHS came back and said there could be really major terrorist problems today. They even said there's already threats for October 7th. Now, in Chicago, go back and look at it. Go look. Chicago, they're raising Palestinian flags over certain buildings just yesterday and today. You see marches happening all over America. You see a guy yesterday trying to burn his whole body in self-immolation in representation of sacrificing himself for Palestine. Now, do I believe the October 7th situation is going to get easier and be more peaceful? No, I actually believe it's going to get worse. I don't know if it's going to be the October surprise or it's just going to be a basically all-out war. But with Israel moving into Lebanon, with Iran trying to bomb into Israel and then complaining that if they retaliate, we're going to bomb them again. It's like, come on. You bomb them first. You're the one funding all these people to go into Israel. So, first of all, I don't believe Iran is as big of a threat as most people do. But I do believe they have a lot of funding, and I blame it on the Biden-Harris administration and, of course, Obama for helping them get back on their footing. Trump pretty much had them broke. Go back and look at the stories. No matter what you believe, Iran had no foothold basically before Obama, and then after Obama, when Trump got in, at the very end of his term, Iran was nothing. But when you have Obama and you have Biden and Harris giving them billions of dollars, then that allows them to fund this kind of stuff like this to happen. So let's go back. There are situations on college campuses where people are backing these terror groups. What are we teaching in our schools when people are stating that they have support for these terror groups? So you as a parent, you're paying for these kids to go to college. These kids are getting major loans to ultimately learn how to be indoctrinated to trust in terror groups over their own country, their own citizenship, their own allies? Just help me understand that. So today, again, marks a hard day, and also it marks a day that no matter if we try to stay out of the world, those problems are coming around to us, and we have troops all over. Did you know we moved tons of battleships basically over in this area close to Israel, Iran to help with the scenario? I don't believe we should be having our troops over there. But we could have helped the situation by not escalating to this point if we'd have never gave hundreds of billions of dollars of money to Iran. This goes back to the Trump situation where he says enough is enough. If we wouldn't allowed billions of dollars of cash to flow into Iran and then cause problems with Ukraine to make Russia back Iran, then we wouldn't be in the boat we're in to where now we're worried about our cities being safe on October 7th. This is all a problem of you made a hard bed and now you have to sleep in it. This is exactly what this is. This is what 4 years of Biden-Harris represents right here. And I think what we should learn from this is they're going to use scare tactics, they're going to use panic, right. But ultimately, the truth is we have built the monster over there, and then we want to send our military over there to clean it up when we're the cause of the problem in the first place by giving them too much funds to cause the mischief they've been causing in the Middle East. You know, there's a story that MBS, which is Saudi Arabia's leader and family, that they're actually excited that Trump could win because they realized the stable areas over in the Middle East realized that they were more stable and had a better relationship with America when Trump was in leadership. That's what true leadership is. It's making sure that you can keep peace without ever having to send troops over anywhere. So start wars or not start wars. That's your option again with Kamala versus Trump. If we bring this stuff down to elementary levels for most people, they don't understand. But I think what happens with legacy media is they try to taint the news and swing it to a point where people don't know what to trust or how to believe anymore. But if we get down to just simple brass tacks, simple economics, simple kindergarten level stuff, we realize that we have been led astray for the last 4 years. And now, the key states of these 5 to 7 key swing states are starting to wake up and say, we actually don't have it better. I'm sad it took 4 years to realize that. But our country's failing, and if we don't get a hold of it and we don't change the trajectory, it's only going to get worse over the next 4 years. Again, let's go back to what John Kerry said yesterday. He said, if we win, if the Dems win, we can also stop this spread of this information against freedom of speech. Basically, he's wanting to take your First Amendment rights, like they started to do with their Second Amendment rights. Is this what we want? Do we want to live in fear and chaos and see someone else's flag, like in Chicago, be raised over our buildings? Who thinks that's wise? Who thinks that's the America that we should be growing up in and bring our kids up in, that there's a Palestinian flag hanging over one of our biggest buildings in the city? And that's actually happened in Washington not too long ago too, to where we're allowing these people not to just protest, but what they're doing is actually hatred towards America. Freedom of speech, I'm okay with that. But burning yourself, burning the flag, tearing our flags down to hang your flag up, that's not freedom of speech. That's causing chaos. And this is exactly what Kamala is seeing, because she's trying to play all these sides. And I think her puppet strings are getting a little strained. Dems in panic, for sure. Be careful out there. If you're in the cities, and you're in these big cities especially, be safe, because do I believe that DHS and FBI are smart? Do I believe they know everything? No. But I believe they know that because of what we've done for the last 4 years and we've allowed happen across the world, that it could be dangerous to be in some of these cities because of what can be the retaliation and how people really feel about this. People are passionate and they're polarized. So be safe out there. Also remember, there's a storm coming. There's also a storm that just happened. We don't want to forget about North Carolina. Pray for those people in Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, and South Carolina. Not only that, we have another storm coming for Florida. If we can do anything, first of all, we should prepare and we should make sure that we're doing all that we can to get ready. I heard of a couple that lives kind of outside Tampa Bay, and they're elder, and because of her medicine and the situation she's in life, they're not going to leave. Well, I hate that they're not leaving, but she's also on some kind of medicine that won't allow her to leave. That's heartbreaking to me. And we have a major storm coming in, and we hope that those kind of people are safe. I hope that more volunteers stand up. If you want me to say that I want government to help us, this is where government should be helping. To be the last line of defense, to be able to help folks when total chaos and devastation happens. That's where government should work and should shine. And instead, they're still not working and shining now like FEMA. I mean, they're worried about the LGB whatever instead of worrying about all the people. They're worried about the Haitians and the migrants coming over instead of worrying about the people. As Trump said, enough's enough. And I'm glad that Kamala's campaign is in a code red. Guys, let me know your thoughts on all these topics. Remember to check out my sponsor of the day, a great company, and for just pennies of the day, make sure that you're safe and your money is safe and your home is safe. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.